expensive couture. Hollywood or Lakeshore, you get it, but it's alright. I live a good life. Expensive couture.
Yo, what the fuck is the deal, world? It's your boy SDJ, Say Dat Jay, whatever you want to call me. I'm cool with that. I'm just here to shed some light on this whole Tekashi 6ix9ine Daniel Hernandez situation. It's been a lot of misconceptions, a lot of misnomers, a lot of misinformation, a lot of misnews, just a whole big miss. A lot of people don't know what's going on. I'm here to shed some light on what the fuck is really going on and the truth behind the whole situation. So a lot of people know Tekashi 6ix9ine was doing music for a while, for a few years. I did some research. He had been doing music for years, you know what I mean? But he came to claim his fame within the last 12 months, you know. And every artist gets to a point where they be like, damn, I need to get on no matter what it is, you know what I mean? So when I mean by getting on, every artist wants that, well, most artists wants their music or their art form or their artwork to be heard by the masses, you know. You spend your time and you take time and you create the shit. You want the shit, you know, played. And some people will go further than a lot of people. I mean, me as an artist, I've had thoughts in my head like, damn, I know this could go viral. But it's repercussions, you know. A lot of times it's repercussions and it's consequences, you know, and it's consequences to all your actions, you know. So long story short, to make this short, Tekashi got down with Shotty, the bald-headed skinny guy he used to roll around with, the bald-headed skinny nigga. And the bald-headed skinny nigga, you know, was a street guy, you know. Daniel wasn't a street guy, but as an artist, he was trying to get his music out there, you know. So he would have did anything. I mean, the motherfucker painted his hair and put tattoos all over his face. So he would have done anything. A nigga have purple hair, pink hair, do any fucking thing, you know, for clout in a sense. So it's like he got down with the blood niggas, you know, the non-trays. Nobody knew what the non-trays was before all this shit started coming out on the internet. You know what I mean? But if you from Brooklyn, you know, that's some Brooklyn shit, you know. So he got down with the wrong crowd, you know. But he in his mind, he thought it was helping his career. You know, a lot of artists align themselves with people, you know, that'll put them in a position to win no matter what. I mean, if you got a fucking mini army, you know, rolling around with you as an artist, that's not really necessarily a bad thing if you know how to move, you know what I mean? But what happened was the gang banging, blooding and cripping, put it like that, blooding and cripping started in the West Coast. And one thing I could tell you as a motherfucker that's been on the West Coast for a lot of percentage of my life is that gangbangers are going to use you. They're going to abuse you. You know, they're gonna suck you dry, especially if you got something. You know, especially if you're not really from their hood. And he wasn't really from their hood. He wasn't no blood. The Crip pictures was out. He wasn't no gangbanger. He was just trying to get his fucking music on. You know what I mean? And they knew that, you know. And these is blood niggas, and they was extorting them. Old school 90s style extortion. You know, music business extortion. This shit happens all the time. You know what I mean? So, they was extorting a nigga, but he's getting fame. He's getting clout. He's on the internet. They sticking niggas up. They beat niggas up. And I'm going to tell y'all, the first time it went bad, the first time I seen that shit was going to come to an end is when they was in Minnesota. Looked up the Minnesota shooting, you know. He got into it with the niggas, the promoters in Minnesota when he had the show. The promoters was finna whoop his ass. And then his team, the blood niggas, started busting, you know. And I'm like, God damn, this shit crazy. While everybody was motherfucking amazed by that shit, I'm sitting back thinking like, these niggas is shooting on Snapchat. You can't shoot on Snapchat. You know what I mean? You can't shoot on Snapchat. You know what I mean? You just can't shoot a gun on Snapchat. The motherfucker put it on the Snapchat channel when they got the fucking, when they got into it with the niggas in Minnesota earlier this year. So when I seen that, I'm like, man, the police it's only a matter of motherfucking time. And if you scroll down my channel, you'll see it. But anyways, after that shit happened, he felt like he was untouchable. Once that shit happened in Minnesota, he felt like he was untouchable. That's what made him feel like he was untouchable, because everybody seen what the fuck happened. He got into it with the niggas, blah, blah. His team shot at the niggas, blah, blah. Now, the word on the street is, don't fuck with Tekashi, because he got niggas around that'll shoot on fucking Snapchat. You know what I mean? So that's that. You can't do that, especially if you're a New York artist. Especially if you're a New York artist. The Hip Hop Cops is real. All you gotta do is type in Hip Hop Cops documentary on YouTube, and you'll see that shit is real. That documentary is old, but that shit is still, they didn't disband that motherfucker. You know what I mean? So, as a New York artist, you really gotta motherfucking walk on eggshells, because they look at Max B. They gave Max B 75 fucking years for some shit he wasn't even there at. You know what I mean? They claim he set somebody up, but he got 75 years for setting a nigga up. You know what I mean? So when you a New York artist, you definitely gotta walk on eggshells, which he didn't. I mean, he went around the world basically antagonizing motherfuckers, and the Hip Hop Cops got tired of that shit. You know what I mean? So it's not even that they got tired of them. The motherfuckers was causing havoc in the streets. You can't be robbing niggas and shooting niggas. Video shoots up. Tekashi 6ix9ine and his homeboys, them niggas was ignorant. You know, you can't be that ignorant, especially when you got the spotlight on you. You know what I mean? You can't do that type of shit. You can't move that type of way, especially if you want to live free on the streets. You know, and that's something that them OG niggas knew, but he didn't know. He didn't know. He just was looking at it for clout. Clout. The ultimate clout chasing ass nigga, man. But you know, I hope this, you know, show a lot of people a lesson. You can't just live your life trolling and being fake just because it's the internet, because you are accountable for what you say, even if it is on the internet, man. But once he realized that they was extorting him, because when you get extorted, you don't know at first. Certain people don't know at first, you know. You're just thinking that you're looking out for the homies, when really these people ain't your homies. So once he realized he got extorted, he tried to get away from them niggas. And one thing that people don't realize is Brooklyn keeps on taking it. Brooklyn niggas is some grimy motherfuckers. Why? I've been to New York, and every time I went to New York, niggas didn't want to take me to Brooklyn. I'd be like, man, ain't this shit gentrified? Ain't it cool now? Niggas still didn't want to take me to Brooklyn. Brooklyn is the only place in New York I ain't never been in the city. You know what I mean? So it's like, Brooklyn niggas is different. Brooklyn bitches is different. You know, you can't. Brooklyn niggas move different. They robbing the 50 Cent, the real 50 Cent, robbing his own cousins and shit, man. Get robbed. They rob niggas. You know, so for Tekashi 6ix9ine to not be aware that he was eventually gonna get robbed, and you from Brooklyn and you know Brooklyn, you should know Brooklyn. Get down, man. So it's really no excuses. You know, they botched it. They kidnapped his ass and threw him in that trunk, and they botched that shit. You know, he got away. Luckily, fortunately, I was finna say unfortunately. Fortunately, man, you know, he got away. But you know, it caught up with him because he tried to distance himself like it was gonna be that easy. But the fucked up part about it is he didn't distance himself quick enough. And Hip Hop Cop said, "This is enough." Took his ass in, and it's just a lesson learned, man. Extortion is real.